We're live.
Okay, great. Welcome to the Ripple Effect. Erika was just reminding me that we actually have a repeat guest. It'd been a while since we've had Marie Bowser on. We're going to talk about transformational wellness, acupuncture. You know, maybe you just got your PG&E bill and you're just literally dying. She's going to help you get through some of the pain. But before that, I wanted to just do a quick check-in with my co-host Erika. If you were up in Tahoe, tell us a little bit first about what you do, Erika, and then if you can give us a little update on your trip to Tahoe. That sounds so cool.
It was very cold. It was super fun. And by the way, I want to hear a quick check-in about your little seeds to seedlings. I want to know how they're going, David. And yes, I'm going to tell you, I am a psychotherapist here in the Bay Area, and I am a teacher of holistic approaches to wellness, and I'm a fruits and vegetables advocate. I help people grow food and get more plant matter into their bodies. So I'm happy to be here. I love Marie Bowser. She's our guest today. Whoa!
Yeah, I'm excited too. Marie is great, and we're just a full disclosure. We're all in the same business networking chapters, so I've gotten to know her a lot more since we had her on initially, and I really am looking forward to some of her new offerings as well. My check in on my seedlings. Well, you know, I got to plant some of them. More of them are sprouting, so Carrie and I are going to plant them in the next day or two, and I'll send you some pictures. I'll share them online too, so I'm excited.
Yeah, get them in. I mean, they may be a little bit shocked for a few days. There might be the quality of being shocked because the weather's been sort of cold, but you can like ease them into it. Like around this time is a good time to get them outside and get them used to it, and then bring them in. Then like give them a day or two to acclimate if you're feeling generous, and then get them in there. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Well,
let's see what
at least
happens.
you didn't get stranded up there in Tahoe. It looks like a 100-year storm they have up there. I saw it down in Southern Cal. People were riding in the snow to get help because they're snowed in down there.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
think,
intense. I was just listening on the radio yesterday when I went to go get a smog check. They're like, please don't come to Tahoe if you don't live here. They're just saying, don't come. And my friend has a very military big Tacoma vehicle. So he had the big tire. So when we had a stuck moment, he just let some air out of the tires, and somebody helped him, pulled him, and then that person got stuck and we pulled them, and everything was okay because we had like they had the gear. They had all the gear for every little thing. It was really cool. And but most people don't have the gear. So you really need the chains, you really need the socks now. There's socks that can go over tires that are a lot easier to put on. In fact, I have a pair, Marie, that would probably work for one of your vehicles. My sister was up here last year and she rented a car. They needed socks. They didn't know it. So we got the socks, and then it's like so much easier than the chains. So good to know. And so they're just sitting in my garage. I'd love to have a vehicle to have this be used on, and maybe a ride up there again.
you know, my relative in Sweden, they actually say there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just the preparation. So if it's, 50 below, it's about your clothing. I feel like you can say the same thing about your car, so I actually won't really drive a non 4-wheel drive up there anymore because I'm kind of spoiled. But after living up there, I just I will in the summertime. But yeah, those chains can be tough on some of those low profile tires.
Yeah, it was a fascinating experience to be in these backwoods cabins. Bears have tried to enter all these cabins, and they have bear deterrents for the windows and for this and for that. It's interesting. Bears won't go after glass. I learned that. Like everything will be decimated, but the martini glasses in the freezer are left intact. Or they won't break through glass windows for some reason. So it was really interesting. It reminded me of living in Vermont when we used to do a lot of stuff with the kids I used to work with at the Rock Point School. And we would like go back country skiing into a cabin, so you had to pack in, pack out. It was an awesome experience. So So it was a lot of fun.
Well, very good. Let's get to Marie here. I feel like we haven't given her a chance to speak and tell us about herself. We just can give our glowing testimonials, but maybe we do that when she tells us who she is and what she does. And I know you're actually, your expertise, Erika, is a lot closer to Marie's. So I'm interested to the kind of synergies you guys have and what you do as well in terms of you being a therapist and kind of in this transformational wellness field as well.
Yeah,
But
Marie, it's great to have you on here. I'm so excited to hear you today. And I have gone to Marie Bowser many times as for my acupuncture, and I just love your work. I love how I feel after, and it ripples out into my week and my helps my sanity. So talk to us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, my name's Marie Bowser. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and I work in Albany, California, supporting people dealing with depression, anxiety, insomnia, as well as hormonal imbalances, infertility, perimenopausal issues, and I love it. It's beautiful medicine, and yeah, it is really well aligned with psychotherapy. I feel like, a lot of my patients are doing psychotherapy, and if they weren't doing it when we started, a lot of times it opens up, they start to feel well and realize they want even more wellness. So I think of myself as a portal to doing deeper work. So it's good stuff.
Absolutely. It is good stuff. I remember you working with me. I think it was around as I was coming out of triathlon season or something. I remember you working with me when I was going through some heartache. You're amazing. People who don't know Marie Bowser, you gotta go and get with her and tell us about what makes your work unique, like the transformational wellness. What does that mean
Mhm.
to you?
Well, I work pretty holistically. Um, I start with there's like three different ways that I work in terms of acupuncture. You know, I I treat pain. Not as a primary, but I have patients who come in and they're dealing with pain, and sort of a pretty straightforward way of practice. And then there's treating physiological imbalance. And then I also incorporate a series of treatments that are very powerful for psycho-emotional issues. So people dealing with, um, things have never been the same since something happened, or they can't seem to move past some internal story or habit. And so this series of treatments that I do help to tap into that, um, and, get to the root of some deep um, spiritual topics. And then I incorporate homework. A lot of times I incorporate Qigong exercise in the work that I do, depending on what someone's dealing with. And then I think pretty unique in comparison to other people, I work with a few personality typing systems. And so I find that helpful for patients to, it enhances their self understanding and self love and perspective when they're dealing with particular challenges. I love to just offer, alternative perspectives on why things are unfolding or why, they're dealing with a particular issue. So I don't know, I've accumulated particular skills and tricks and just kind of make up my unique experience that I'm offering patients. So,
yeah, and Marie, I've talked to you about more things to do on video, and you have some pretty cool stuff that you're looking at to really, I just love your, we always on my shows, we call them kind of visionaries or people with a philosophy for wellness. And I feel like that's what you really have, that so much to share in so many different ways. And could you just tell us about some of the things you're looking at to sharing ways or mediums to share your broader, your message really to the
Yeah.
broader world?
Well, I know I mentioned to you, I'm sitting on some unedited content. Um, because I share these Qigong exercises with patients that are really powerful. A lot of times I was doing, showing them in the treatment room if we had time and it was kind of quick. And I just realized like I need to document this, codify it and make it easy for people to access. So I've recorded, my core Qigong program as well as some prescriptions for certain things. And I'm basically sitting on that.
Yeah,
Sitting.
and tell us what Qigong is in
Oh,
terms of.
yes. I took your class with
Yeah,
a couple people, right?
yeah, yeah.
It was so fun. Oh my gosh, it's so powerful and manifesty.
So it's a moving meditation. It's um a modality within Chinese medicine. It can be done through exercise that somebody does, or it can be done on hands-on healing. I would compare it to something like Tai Chi or yoga. And it incorporates three ingredients. One is a particular motion, the other is a certain breathing pattern, and the third is an intention. And so you can combine these three things to make a emotional, spiritual, physiological shift in the body. It reminds me, I have a patient who was dealing with um, sort of timidity in their throat. They were sort of a quiet speaker, and they specifically came in to deal with this. And I gave her qigong exercise to open up the throat, and it's night and day. The like the uncorking of her voice, and I think it's acupuncture with herbs. It was qigong altogether, but I think it wouldn't have happened as quickly had she not been incorporating the qigong exercises. So I think of it as, another thing someone can do on top of an herbal formula to move things forward. So anyhow, yeah, I'm hoping to get that out soon for patients as well as people who may not be working with me directly. And then in the meantime, I'm also launching a monthly gathering talking about the 5 elements, the seasons, how to live in greater alignment with the seasons, with the elements, and how to use that to more effectively and easily and efficiently make your goals happen so that you're not stressed and you're not tired and you're not burnt out. And so those are gonna start the second week of April, I think. So I'm excited about that as well. So I'm really looking forward to getting, more educational content out into the world. Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
I'm
classes
I'm
are
happy to help you consult on some of that unedited video. If you pop it in a Dropbox or something, I can take a look at it. I know how challenging that can be, what to do with some of that stuff. So
To slog through it.
yeah, Erica, we're ready for a wild card question from you if you have something.
no wild card question. I have a little bit of knowledge about Marie and the way she works. And I know there was a time where you were really getting into doing face reading. You want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, that's sort of embedded into the 5 element personality typing system work that I do.
And for
Um,
those who don't know 5 element, could you
yeah,
say a little bit about that?
sure, sure. The 5 elements, they're like core concepts within Chinese medicine. Everything in life and health can be categorized into the 5 elements. And so Whenever we're looking at imbalance in the body, when someone comes in for an acupuncture session, I'm analyzing their symptoms and signs and their pulses in order to come up with a diagnosis that is based on the 5 elements. And each element is related to an organ system, and that helps me come up with a treatment plan and herbs and all that. So yeah, I look at the face as part of that. We look at the color of the face, like the different nuances that someone can see in the complexion. We look for red or white or green or yellow. Within each, every race has, an underlying color that shines out from underneath it. It's not specific to any particular race. We can look at all faces and determine that. Same with face shape. Certain features like eyebrows or nose or cheeks or lips, if something is more prominent on the face, we can tell that a certain element is more, present in that person's constitution.
How I like to think of, this beautiful work that goes back how many thousands of years, Eastern.
Yeah, at least 2000.
At least 2000. So it's like, it goes deep. It goes really deep, this work. And, so I was thinking the 5 elements is fire. For my training as doing shiatsu and Thai yoga massage, it's, fire, earth, metal, water, wood. And each of those parts have like all these things that are pointing to other things, like the organs or the feelings you might be having. If you're really sad, that's the certain meridians in the back, right? And just there's a whole story that emerges that's totally different from Western medicine.
Totally.
So I am such a fan of Eastern medicine because it's helped me when I've had things not go in alignment. And it's been profound, to dance with this, to experience your medicine, Marie, has always been really profound. And it goes in deep, even though the needles aren't going in deep, your medicine goes deep.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's so helpful also to, when, thinking of emotions and knowing what someone's constitution is and understanding, this is what it means to be a water element person. And sometimes a water element person can feel like they're living in a dream world, and that can feel emotionally overwhelming, right? And that doesn't have to be something is wrong with them, and just, how to understand this is what it means. This is how I work with it. These are the superpowers. These are the challenges, or like a wood element person tending to be more easy to anger, maybe, but that we can look at how anger is powerful. Righteous indignation, it puts people into action. It's political change. It's standing up for the underdog, right? There's so many ways to hold, an emotion and its usefulness, and to know that when it's coming out of balance, that we know that it's time to do something to bring balance back. Yeah, it's fun. It's also fun for me, at least. I don't know. I might be the only geek out there that thinks it's that fun.
I just wanted to clarify too that qigong or any of these techniques, can they be purely meditative? Say you don't have any health issues per se, but just to bring increased mental health. Is that
Yes,
kind of,
for sure. 100%. It can be used preventatively to continue to have balance in your life and your physiology. You can use it to have greater clarity and insight. And it also doesn't always have to involve movement. Some qigong is more meditative. Some qigong is just sounds. Yeah, it's a big umbrella.
So tell us about the acupuncture process. I know that's a big part of your business. If somebody's never done that,
Mhm.
why should somebody consider acupuncture, and how can you help them out?
Yeah. Well, acupuncture is a technique that helps to bring balance to the body. Like I mentioned, when someone comes in, we have a long intake to start, and through interview and through reading their pulse, looking at their tongue, I come up with a diagnosis, and then based on that diagnosis, I choose acupuncture points. Those points might vary in different visits, or they may repeat periodically, but the treatment is based on what the patient's overall goal is and how they're presenting each time that they're here in the office. And basically, I've been told my needling technique is pretty gentle. And I would say everybody is on a spectrum. There's some folks for whom acupuncture can feel like a lot. I often find that if someone is nervous, it's what's more uncomfortable is the anxiety they have about acupuncture. And then when we get the first needle in, they're like, oh. And then over time, it gets easier and easier for them. But I would say 75 or 80% of my patients, probably more, are, receive it with great ease. Um, but if there are certain points that might be a little more tender, and there are techniques I use to make sure that that doesn't feel too uncomfortable. I used to treat um, boys at a home for addiction and behavior issues, and I got pretty good at putting needles into 13-year-old boys. So it kind of just became a skill, like distracting, doing little things on the skin to distract. Um, Usually I'm working with maybe 10 needles or less, trying to be efficient and elegant. And I have some patients who are like, they're like 4 needle max. I just know I have to be I always aim to be efficient, but I have to be really thoughtful with them. And, you know,
One of
that's what
my
we
favorite things about the acupuncture work that I know you do and most acupuncturists do is pulse reading
do. Hmm.
as well as tongue reading. Like
Yeah.
that's a thing that Marie will do to read what's going on in your systems. And it's always like, I wonder what she's seeing there. And did I scrape my tongue this morning? I think, and like certain things with your tongue mean something, and certain things with your pulse mean something. And it's always very interesting. It's like, just it's like somebody you have like this crystal ball, but it's the body, and you are tapping into these systems, these rivers that are running in slow ways and in fast ways. It literally is that, the spring, the well, the river. And I
Yeah.
just love that analogy of these different points throughout your body.
Yeah. And it is interesting that you really can see what someone is going through, right? I mean, there are times where, I can tell like what's going on, what happened, why is your heart tense right now? And they'll say, well, yesterday or this morning there was a phone call, and it's not that I need to know the details. I actually don't. In some ways, feeling the pulse helps me know something's up, and I don't need to know the details, but it can be helpful for patients to cough up their hairballs. Or it also can help me see, like, okay, I can tell from the digestion that maybe there's a little bit eating on the run, and that it's starting to show up in the body. And so, can we slow down a little bit? Because when the digestion is um, given more space and time to like be focused on, that rest and digest function is really strong, and then the foundations of the whole entire body is strong. So it just I can see little like orange lights, red lights, and let patients know, what their body's telling me. And chances are just, connecting it to their own symptoms and things their body's telling them. It's not just you, it's telling me, I can tell from your pulses that, you're overworking and that's why you're having trouble sleeping.
I love my, I love the idea with acupuncture that you can really feel your meridians, like you can really feel these energy pathways that are alive and functioning, not functioning, struggling. And, this whole thing of like energy, it's there. It's there. If you ever were like, oh yeah, that energy, schmenergy thing. No, this is really, this system is really tried and proven. And I mean, there's miracles that happen with this kind of work. People can have ear acupuncture and then have open heart surgery without anesthesia. And it blew, my dad's a retired doc. I showed him this picture of this woman, like, and her heart is being surgeried and she has ear acupuncture. And it's like, yeah, this is true.
That's a gutsy acupuncturist.
Yeah, but it's like, that's their anesthesia, in some parts of Asia. So it's a miracle, it is a miracle.
I used to take a lot of insurance, and I once had someone, we checked benefits, and the insurance plan said the only reason acupuncture would be covered was in lieu of anesthesia. And I was like,
that's what that's about. That's what that's
okay. But not for knee pain. Okay.
Well, I'm so glad you're not taking insurance, because it's a psycho process. And so speaking of which, for people just tuning in and learning about you, Miss Marie, how can people get a hold of you? What's their best way to do so? And we'll put it in the
I mean, a great way to start is to visit my website. It's www.transformational-wellness.com. And there's a schedule a visit button, and you can schedule a 15-minute consult with me on that to see if we're a good fit. And all my other contact information is on that website. So
great.
That's a slam dunk.
And then the classes will be on the website that you're offering, so people can come to your classes also as a first intro.
I will make sure that the link to that class is on the website.
Yeah, I'd be interested to try your classes too, and also be a referral source there, because I'm huge on daily practice, and I'd love to get more into some meditative things. That's always been something that I haven't kind of dabbled in a little bit, but I want to do more of. Yeah.
The first class will be in April, and we're going to discuss the transition between the wood element season and the fire element season, kind of just looking at where we've been and where we're going and how to use that to maximize, wellness and energy and success. And then subsequent visits will be more practice based. So the first one will be a little more content based, and then May will be a little bit more like practices.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Great. We're just about at time here. Erika, if you have any closing comments, I wanted to compliment Marie on her background. I love that background you have.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of the energy. We've had some snow, but yeah, we're in the wood element season, so we're still, that energy still pushing up from under the earth. I wanted to kind of capture this strange moment that we're in with a little snow and some crocuses.
Do you see any flowers coming out of the snow up there in Tahoe, Erika? Or probably too many feet of snow and a little bit early.
It was completely covered. Like, if there was anything attempting to get through, it is not getting through right now.
One crazy thing about Tahoe is that sometimes it'll just dump snow in July, so you might have flowers up there. It is a bit rare, but I love the weather up there, how just totally random it is. It's crazy mountain weather up there, but
It really is. It's a miracle, that place. It's beautiful, big sky, big mountains, beautiful lakes. I got to be around Echo Lake, but I didn't actually see it. But it was like, oh, that's a little nothing in comparison to Lake Tahoe. So one day I'll get to see more of the lakes around there. And it's just really quiet and
Yeah,
beautiful.
my old flight instructor's up there. We could take a little plane ride with him. It's a lot of fun.
Wow. Okay. Not in any serious weather. I don't want to fly in any serious weather.
Yeah, I miss that. Well, good. Well, we're gonna end it there. Thanks, Marie, for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
If you have any last notes, feel free to make them. But we're gonna sign off here in a second.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, good. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Definitely.
But thanks, Erica. You look refreshed, by the way, from being back from Tahoe too. So I'm glad you were able to get some mental health holiday as well. But
Absolutely. Have a great day. And David, thank you for everything. Thank you for the ripple effect.
sure. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.